Chapter 542. We'll talk after you're dressed. Yi Wanwan had to attend the Golden Orchid Awards ceremony that night. After her training ended, she took off her activewear and changed into a men's outfit. In the master bedroom, Si Han had just ended his acupuncture therapy session. On his bare upper body, there were countless blue-black spots caused by the needles. Yi Wanwan had a slight phobia of needles, so each time Si Han did his acupuncture therapy, she didn't stick around. Did it hurt? Yi Wanwan sat next to him and asked. Si Han buttoned up his top and replied calmly, "I'm fine." Yi Wanwan furrowed her brows. "Why don't I keep you company next time?" Si Han glanced at her then said, "No need for that. I'll have to take care of you if you faint." Yi Wanwan was speechless. He's truly a robot. Oh, right. Yi Wanwan remembered something and her expression turned serious all of a sudden. Si Han, I have something very important I need to tell you. Si Han responded while buttoning up his shirt. What? Yi Wanwan stared at the way Si Han fastened his buttons, revealing some bare skin, and was suddenly stuck. Si Han looked at her suspiciously and waited for her to continue. Yi Wanwan held her forehead helplessly and waved her arms. "We'll talk after you're dressed." I completely forgot what I wanted to say. The man was stunned at first, then a soft smile seemed to appear on his face. After some time, he was done fastening all the buttons and said, "All right, what did you want to say?" Seeing that Si Han was dressed, Yi Wanwan was satisfied and remembered what she wanted to say. Yi Wanwan pondered for a moment then said sternly, "Si Han, I suddenly realized I might be a kung fu master." Si Han. Yi Wanwan panicked when there was no reaction from Si Han. "What? You don't believe me?" "I went to the training grounds with 11 today and he taught me some wrestling techniques. In the end, I knocked 11 to the ground. 11 even wanted to be my disciple." "You agreed?" Si Han asked as his eyes grew dimmer. Yi Wanwan looked helpless. "Oh, at first, I thought this was ridiculous and I would never accept him as my disciple. How on earth could my trainer suddenly become my disciple? However, 11 was very stubborn and even thought I looked down on his skills. I didn't have a choice, so I agreed to it. Aside from 11, there was another young bodyguard who stutters." Yi Wanwan spoke and pinched her brows lethargically. "Actually, I'm not sure when it started. Today I was very perceptive and more capable than ordinary people, like I already had all these skills inside me from the beginning. For example, martial arts and acting. I can do them instinctively. I wasn't learning these skills but merely adapted them as I needed to. It feels really weird." Si Han looked at her confused little face and placed his large palm on her head, stroking it softly. "It's not weird, you're just gifted." As if worried that she wouldn't believe him, Si Han added, "I'm like that too." The moment his large palm touched her head, Yi Wanwan was immediately infused with a sense of relief, but in the next second, when she heard Si Han's words, she was speechless. "Baby, are you serious? Gifted?" Yi Wanwan coughed lightly. "All right, I do believe the last 4 words you said. Si Han is gifted, that's for sure. But as for me, how can I be on the same level as a twisted genius like Si Han?" Chapter 543. Award ceremony. It was probably because Yi Wanwan poured everything out to Si Han that she felt much better. Besides, she should take things as they came. Even rebirth was possible, so what was impossible? At 8 p.m., the 46th Annual Golden Orchid Award ceremony officially began. As an annual feast in the entertainment industry, the scene was dazzling and grand. The media gathered to photograph those on the red carpet who were all A-listers and rising stars. Han Xianyu and Xiao Kuxian would be walking down the red carpet together tonight. The two of them had known each other for years and had always been known as brother and sister in the industry, so there wouldn't be any scandal arising from this. The combination of a handsome gentleman and a beauty was always eye-catching. The two of them took up countless roles of film the second they appeared. When the host saw the subject of scrutiny, Xiao Kuxian, his eyes lit up and he hurriedly asked questions which he had already prepared beforehand. "Kuxian, the box office for Legend of the Quiet Girl has already broken through 600 million. This really calls for a celebration. It's a pity though that many netizens don't think this film has a high chance of receiving an award. They think it's too commercialized, completely surrounded with a money-making stench, and they're also very critical about your acting. I wonder if you're confident that you can clinch the Best Actress award tonight? The host's choice of words was provocative, obviously trying to agitate Chiao Kuexin and create an explosive drama. Furthermore, this topic was exactly Chiao Kuexin's sore spot. As expected, the hot-tempered Chiao Kuexin narrowed her eyes and was about to curse at him. At this moment, Han Xianyu sensed something was wrong, so he quickly coughed and spoke up before Chiao Kuexin could. I've already asked Xinjie this question before. Xinjie said there are many strong seniors around tonight, so she won't force it. She'll do what she can and leave the rest to fate. Han Xianyu then pulled Chiao Kuexin away immediately without giving the host a chance to speak. Chiao Kuexin glared at the host and gave him a dirty look. Not far off, Yi Wanwan observed that scene and held her forehead helplessly. Chiao Kuexin's tarnished reputation was also in part created by her bad temper. At this moment, there was an even louder gasp at the scene. Yi Wanwan looked up and saw that the next couple walking down the red carpet wasn't some A-lister but Emperor Sky's director of the talent recruitment department, Yi, along with Gu Group's chairman cum CEO of Emperor Sky, Gu Yuze. This couple consisted of a delicate and beautiful girl and a tall and handsome man. Their looks were in no way inferior to the celebrities in the entertainment industry, and they held powerful statuses themselves. What was more eye-catching was that there were a couple megastars from Emperor Sky following behind them. All of them were the hottest artists who won many awards before. This Emperor Sky heavenly entourage grabbed everyone's attention instantly. The host raised his microphone and exclaimed dramatically, "Wow, this must be the strongest lineup on the red carpet tonight. Director Yi, Chairman Gu, I'm not sure if the two of you are confident about the awards ceremony tonight?" Yi turned to Gu Yuze in a gentle manner, appearing to sing her husband's tune. Gu Yuze didn't have much reaction as he replied plainly, "We're determined to win." The cold and solemn expression on his charming face immediately stirred up the screams of many love-struck fans. The host was starry-eyed as well. Indeed, one's manner of speech is different when one has confidence. But it's not surprising at all since senior Lee Chong-yi for the Best Actor award is a shoo-in and Chi Mei-lin is also in the running for the Best Actress award. Who knows, maybe Emperor Sky will be able to clinch both titles tonight. When the host said, one's manner of speech is different when one has confidence, the host was obviously trying to ridicule Chiao Kuexin. Chapter 544. Not her usual self. Yi Wanwan stood and watched silently as Yi and Gu Yuze led Emperor Sky's entourage with all the limelight on them. Today's Yi Group was still dominant in the entertainment industry even after clashing with Worldwide and other companies, so it was inevitable they would reap a plentiful harvest this time. Previously, there were many news releases stating that Emperor Sky would be creating a massacre this time. However, they might have to be disappointed if they were trying to seize both the Best Actor and Actress awards. Yi Wanwan didn't have to walk the red carpet, so after watching from a distance, she walked directly to the grand hall for the ceremony. Han Xianyu was too busy and got his assistant to pass the entrance tickets to Yi Wanwan in a rush. Yi Wanwan held out her tickets and was preparing to look for her seat. Alas, when she saw her seat number, she was stunned. Why is it so close to the front? Is there a mistake somewhere? Yi Wanwan checked it 3 times and realized that it was the right seat, so she gave Han Xianyu's assistant a call to check again. In the end, the assistant was on the line and she couldn't get through. Yi Wanwan was in a difficult position. After all, she couldn't simply sit anywhere she liked for an event like this. Yi Wanwan couldn't reach the assistant at all. She had no choice but to sit and wait in a corner. Her head was hurting when suddenly, she heard a familiar pair of footsteps in front of her. Following that, an arm went around her shoulders intimately. "Yi Bai, what are you doing here?" All she saw was Han Xianyu dressed in an exquisite custom-made white suit from Brancy. He was even more dashing than usual. Yi Wanwan was shocked for a moment. "Xianyu, I noticed you weren't in your seat still. Didn't Xiao Liang give you your ticket?" Han Xianyu asked. "She did, but the seat number didn't seem right. Isn't it a little too close to the front?" Yi Wanwan replied. Han Xianyu took a closer look then said, "Nothing's wrong, this is the right seat. You're next to me. Let's go." Having said that, he brought Yi Wanwan to the seat in front. "Next to you?" Yi Wanwan was in even more shock. "Don't worry, the assistant director who was supposed to sit next to me couldn't make it, so Xan Jie and I gave this seat to you. There won't be any problems." Yi Wanwan felt relieved after hearing Han Xianyu say that. Although the award ceremony hadn't started, Han Xianyu attracted quite a bit of attention when he suddenly stood up, walked to the back and was so friendly to an unfamiliar face. Yi Wanwan was quickly brought to the empty seat on Han Xianyu's left side. On his right was Xiao Kuexin. The moment Xiao Kuexin saw her, she smiled gently and said, "Hi little Mr. Fortune Teller, we meet again." Yi Wanwan was a little embarrassed. Cough. "Hello Xinjie, I'm really sorry I was rude last time." Xiao Kuexin blinked. "No you weren't. It was very nice seeing you last time. I wanted to see you again. You're so cute. If you're free later, why don't..." Han Xianyu couldn't listen to this any longer. He used his body to block the two of them and reminded them, "Xinjie, we're in public. Could you please be more careful? They'll start filming very soon." Xiao Kuexin pouted and finally stopped. Yi Wanwan heaved a sigh of relief and whispered to Han Xianyu, "Thanks." Seeing the way Yi Wanwan was so flustered, Han Xianyu laughed. "You're really two different people when you're sober and when you're drunk." Yi Wanwan didn't know what to say. Cough cough, "Don't ever bring up my drunk incident ever again." Chapter 545. I'm afraid he wouldn't be getting both crowns after they settled down. Yi Wanwan realized Gu Yuzhe and Yi were sitting in the row directly in front of them, and next to Yi was the extremely popular actress, Chi Mei Lin. The award ceremony hadn't started, but there were many people who came forward to congratulate them already. "Congratulations, Director Yi. I'm afraid Emperor Sky will be claiming all the awards for sure this time." Yi was dressed in a limited edition champagne-colored gown. She was unbelievably beautiful and was exchanging greetings with everyone modestly. "You flatter me. The results aren't out yet, so we can't be sure. There's still a large gap between Man Ni's acting skills and the seniors. There's still room for improvement, not to mention that the strength of the other nominees can't be underestimated. Director Yi, you're too modest. How could the seedlings you personally groomed be second-rate? As for the other nominees, Lu En is probably the only one who has a chance to vie for that award. Others like Xiao Kexan are simply there to fill up the vacancies." "Ah, that's right. I'm already prepared and waiting for Chairman Gu's celebratory treat for getting both crowns." Yi Wanwan and Xiao Kexan were very close to them and could obviously hear everything those people were saying. Xiao Kexan's expression was extremely ugly, like it could explode any second. "Both crowns, what a big appetite, huh?" Hearing Xiao Kexan's voice from behind, those people in front froze. Who in the entertainment industry didn't know that one shouldn't offend Xiao Kexan? Someone immediately changed the subject and tried to mediate the situation. "Hee, Xanjie, your movie this time was quite popular as well. It broke through 600 million at the box office. Congratulations, congratulations." An actress from Emperor Sky who didn't get along with Xiao Kexan lowered her voice and sneered, "We were just speaking the truth. Is there a problem with that?" Han Xianyu frowned. "Before the results are out, it's better to keep some comments to yourself." Dressed in a red, Chi Mei Lin mocked, "Yes, of course, we shouldn't be too confident about it, but no matter who the recipient of the Best Actress Award is going to be, it will never be Xiao Kexan, right?" What she said was really unpleasant. Yi, who was sitting by the side, didn't seem to have any intention of controlling her own artist. "Tisk, it'll never be me? Do you really think it'll be you, huh?" Xiao Kexan stood up all of a sudden, extremely agitated. They wouldn't attract any attention if they were just sitting down and talking casually, but if this blew up, it'd be an ugly scene for sure. "Well, I think the Best Actress Award will definitely go to Xinjie and no one else." The man's low and hoarse voice suddenly resounded and everyone turned in his direction. They looked at the young man seated next to Han Xianyu. The young man was hidden in the dim light and appeared almost non-existent, but when everyone noticed him, they realized this young man looked quite stunning. His casual and lazy manner had the feeling of a son from a wealthy family. Under these circumstances, when they didn't know who this person was, nobody dared to spout nonsense. Chi Mei Lin glanced at the man in displeasure. "And you are?" Yi Wanwan replied, "I'm just a nobody. There's no need for this beauty here to know my name." When Chi Mei Lin heard the young man's reply, she replied loftily, "Since you're just a nobody, who are you to speak?" She was an A-lister in the entertainment industry after all, and didn't have to tolerate anyone's attitude. In addition, she had Yi and Gu Yuze as her backers right now, so naturally, she didn't have much restraint. Regarding her bad attitude, Yi Wanwan didn't mind it and laughed it off. She mumbled, "It's just that coincidentally, I know a little about the 8 trigrams and 5 elements, and I predicted that Chairman Gu's fortune may not be that prosperous. I'm afraid he won't be getting both crowns tonight." Gu Yuze couldn't be bothered with this argument at first, but when he heard this, he furrowed his brows slightly and turned to look at the person speaking. Chapter 546. A Bet with a Kiss. At one glance, Gu Yuze was taken aback the second he saw the young man. Why does this young man look so familiar? Like, he looks somewhat similar to Yi Wanwan at Grandfather Ye's banquet the other time. But his mannerisms were completely opposite to hers. Furthermore, he was a guy. It was common for people to look alike, especially in showbiz, as cosmetic surgeries were prevalent. Hence, Gu Yuze simply took another look but didn't think much about it. It was just that this guy's appearance really made him recall the day Yi Wanwan called off their engagement at the banquet, and thus, Gu Yuze's expression turned darker. Businessmen were all very superstitious about luck and fortune. The Gu family especially hired a geomancy expert with an exorbitant price tag. They also repaired the temple and made donations every year. So when this person suddenly appeared and commented that his fortune wasn't looking so good, he obviously felt quite uncomfortable. When Yi Wanwan met Gu Yuze's dull gaze, a hint of a smile suddenly overflowed from her eyes. "What, Chairman Gu, you don't believe me? Why don't I read your fortune for free right here, huh?" Gu Yuze glanced coldly at him and turned his head back very quickly. He didn't bother with him at all and treated him like a little clown. Chi Mei Lin hurriedly said, "Chairman Gu, don't stoop to his level. He looks like a cheater and even knows how to read fortunes, huh? Why don't you work at the temple instead? What are you doing here in the entertainment industry?" Yi Wanwan shrugged and casually said, "If you change your mind, Chairman Gu, you can look for me anytime." Chi Mei Lin was speechless and muttered a curse. "Crazy." Yi turned and glanced at the young man. Her brows knitted slightly, but she didn't say anything. Everyone thought Yi Wanwan was merely cursing Gu Yuze and was trying to speak up for worldwide, so nobody took her words seriously. Seeing that these people were so mad that they kept quiet, Xiao Kuexin flashed a brilliant smile and said, "Little Mr. Fortune Teller, well done. If it wasn't for Han Xianyu, this light bulb between us, Jiejie would definitely give you a kiss." Yi Wanwan, "Thank goodness Han Xianyu's between us." Han Xianyu was completely speechless as well. He said helplessly, "Yi Bai, although what you said has eased the tension in the air for a while, wouldn't you have to slap yourself in the face if they really win both awards later?" Yi Wanwan's eyes were as sparkly as the stars and a glow appeared on her face. "What, if I'm right?" Han Xianyu was dazzled by the radiance in the young man's eyes. He roared in laughter and said, "If you're right, that would be fantastic, and I shall call you a psychic." Having said that, Han Xianyu seemed to have thought of something. He looked at Xiao Kexen first, then looked at Yi Bai, and his face turned slightly awkward. Yi Wanwan noticed the difference in Han Xianyu's expression and asked, "What is it?" Han Xianyu coughed lightly and looked down, then he moved closer to Yi Wanwan. "Have you forgotten about the bet you made with Xian Jie that night when you were drunk?" "Ah, what bet?" Yi Wanwan was confused. He really forgot about it? Han Xianyu held his forehead, feeling at a loss. "That? You said if you won, Xian Jie has to give you a kiss after she receives the Best Actress award." The second Han Xianyu said that Yi Wanwan's head went completely blank and she was dumbfounded. I actually did something so shameless when I was drunk." Chapter 547. I really wish to win an award by now. Yi Wanwan recalled she made a bet and Han Xianyu had told her about it, but she had been very busy lately and had completely forgotten about it. Shit, are you sure? Are you sure I made this bet with Xanjia? Yi Wanwan still found it quite hard to believe. Han Xianyu nodded. Of course I'm sure. I remember it very clearly. When you made the bet, Xanjia even blushed from your flirting. Yi Wanwan. Han Xianyu avoided Xiao Kexen and consoled Yi Bai softly. Anyway, the bet has already been made. Luckily, Xianjia's chances of winning aren't too high. Saying her chances weren't high was sugarcoating it. Everyone thought it was completely impossible. No matter how popular the movie was, it was near impossible to get an award from a commercialized movie. Yi Wanwan's face darkened as she held her forehead and sobbed inside. Problem is, Xiao Kuxian will actually win the award? Alright. She wouldn't have been so sure at first, but after being reborn for so long, it was already proven that everything progressed the same way as in her previous life. I feel so tired. How can I go back on this bet? Who asked you to drink? Who asked you to drink? Why didn't you listen to baby? Hey, the two of you, what are you guys whispering about behind my back? Xiao Kuxian asked, rather displeased. Cough. Nothing much, nothing much. Han Xianyu hurriedly sat upright. Yi Wanwan immediately sat up as well, even though her heart was in a mess. She could only hope that Xiao Kuxian had forgotten about this bet. Xiao Kuxian cupped her face and mumbled, too bad. I actually really wanted to win the award so I can finally kiss my little fortune teller openly. Yi Wanwan wanted to die. When Han Xianyu heard Xiao Kuxian being increasingly affectionate towards Yi Bai, his head was filled with black lines. You're older than him, is it really appropriate for you to call him Gigi? And on that sorrowful note, the award ceremony officially began. On stage, two hosts were enthusiastically giving the opening speech followed by an opening performance. After that, the big screen quickly showed the list of nominated films for the night. Alright. Now is the moment everyone's been waiting for, the award presentation. Tonight, the first award we'll be presenting is the Best Edited Film Award. Every year, the sequence of awards changed and they were basically arranged based on the degree of competitiveness and influence of the award. Other than the award for Best Movie that was always at the end, the sequence of awards for Best Director, Best Actor and Actress were all adjusted by the host according to the situation to create maximum suspense. For instance, this time the catfight for Best Actress was the most intense, so it was going to be presented right before the Best Movie Award, making it the second-to-last award to be revealed. The first few awards presented were minor and unimportant ones, so Han Xianyu took the opportunity to chat. Alright, Yi Bai, how did you manage to make your predictions before? I heard you mention that the best newcomer would be Zhao Mingzhe, Best Supporting Actress would be Lin Jiayin, Best Supporting Actor would be Meng Liangyu and the Best Actor would be Li Zhongyi? I didn't remember wrong, right? Yi Wanwan was speechless. I actually listed out all the important awards. Xiao Kuxian was all smiles as she leaned over and added, there's also me, the Best Actress. Yi Wanwan, please just leave me alone. Next award we're presenting is Best Newcomer. The newcomers this year are very impressive, so it was really hard to decide the winner. I wonder who it will be? Let's wait and see. At this moment, the ceremony reached a small climax as they prepared to announce the recipient of the Best Newcomer Award. Chapter 548. I really want to work under you on the large screen. The nominees for the Best Newcomer Award were shown. Li Yi, Elixir of Love. Jiang Xin, 801 Nights. Zhao Mingzhe, Spring Feast. Gong Su, Love Will Never Come. The host sugarcoated his words. He mentioned how impressive they were and how fierce the competition was, but the truth was that various major production corporations churned out many newbies, resulting in the acting skills of these newbies to be mediocre. It was like picking from a bunch of weaklings. Even Gong Su was a nominee, so it was obvious how pathetic this award was. Zhao Mingzhe was an artist under Zhou Wenbin before, and through his connection with a sponsor, he hired a famous director at a high price to film an artistic film just for the sake of getting an award. The Best Newcomer Award goes to the lead actor of Spring Feast, Zhao Mingzhe. Congratulations! The host finally announced the winner. Everyone started clapping instinctively. Xiao Kuxian beamed. Aya, congrats little fortune teller Ji, you got one right. Yi Wanwan coughed lightly. Cough, this wasn't really that hard to guess. In the row in front of them, Han Xianyu, Yi, and the others saw that someone from Worldwide received this award, but they didn't react much to it. It was merely the Best Newcomer Award. They didn't really care for it. Chi Mei Lin sneered loud enough so that the people in the row behind could hear. It's just the Best Newcomer Award, what's there to celebrate? Who doesn't know that the Best Newcomer Award this time is horrendous? Even Gong Su's name is up there. Hearing Gong Su's name once again, Yi Wanwan sighed. Almost everyone used the phrase, even Gong Su's name is up there, to belittle the award, so it was pretty clear how tarnished that boy's reputation was. Hence, Yi Wanwan hadn't allowed Gong Su to come to the awards on purpose. Otherwise, that'd be another mess she had to clean up. Although Gong Su was still being ridiculed while not present, at least the impact wouldn't be as large. Now that this troublesome guy was in her hands, it would be a long, arduous journey to wash his name clean, so she could only do it slowly. Han Xianyu understood how Yi Wanwan felt, so he patted her shoulders in consolation. My condolences? Han Xianyu paused before saying, but I was really quite surprised you actually took Gong Su on. Even though the news about Gong Su being transferred over to Yi Bai hadn't been made public yet, Han Xianyu was from Worldwide and obviously knew about this. When he found out, he was quite shocked. He really didn't know whether to congratulate or pity Yi Bai. Yi Wanwan smiled bitterly. Cough, Gong Su is still considered a popular A-lister now, and you know I don't have that many artists working with me now. So I can only groom him slowly. Han Xianyu obviously knew that grooming Gong Su wasn't an easy task. He smiled. Actually, I really want to work under you. Yi Wanwan looked at Han Xianyu in surprise. This didn't seem like Han Xianyu's first time saying it, so she smiled as well. As if, you're Worldwide's money tree, how could you work under me? Han Xianyu focused on the young man. Then you have to work harder and try to take me under your wing someday. Yi Wanwan knew he was joking, so she nodded. All right, I'll definitely put in more effort for little Angel Xianyu. My career goal is to have little Angel Xianyu under me. Han Xianyu stared at the young man's smile. Huh, I'm looking forward to that. Chapter 549. Got it right again. After the Best Newcomer Award were two minor awards followed by the Best Supporting Actor Award. The list of nominees for this award were all very strong and it wasn't so easy to guess the winner. Worldwide's Tang Xinghua and Emperor Sky's Meng Liangyu were the more popular contenders. Yi Wanwan didn't want to put Worldwide down, but Meng Liangyu was certainly well prepared and had surpassed his competitors as a supporting actor. One nominee who was up against Meng Liangyu was a rookie. Worldwide was grooming and pushing out. Meng Liangyu was an oldie at Emperor Sky when his father was still around, but once his father left, his popularity seemed to drop. This award could probably improve his popularity a little. Han Xianyu mumbled, Best Supporting Actor, this is a hard one to guess. Yi Bai, are you sure it'll be Meng Liangyu? Tang Xinghua's performance wasn't bad either. Yi Wanwan replied with a straight face, it's indeed hard to guess. Xiao Kuxian said, I think Tang's chances of winning are higher. Previously at the banquet, I met some of the members of the judging panel and they had many good things to say about Tang. The three of them were speculating. After the host said a bunch of nonsense, he finally announced the winner. The Best Supporting Actor Award goes to the supporting actor Meng Liangyu from the movie Red Lotus. Congratulations! The hall resounded with applause and the camera turned in Meng Liangyu's direction. Everyone from Emperor Sky stood up and hugged Meng Liangyu to congratulate him. Although Emperor Sky really wished another actor they were grooming would get the award, at least Meng Liangyu was also from Emperor Sky. A few rows behind, Tang Xinghua shrugged nonchalantly. Tang Xinghua hung out with Gong Su and the gang very often and was also a well-known member of the class of wealthy second-generation kids. Although he acted better than Gong Su, he probably didn't really care for awards. Xiao Kuxian chirped, Aya, little fortune teller Ji, you got it right again? Yi Wanwan forced a smile and didn't say anything. Yes, I got it right again. I'll get all of them right, okay? On stage, Meng Liangyu was giving an emotional thank you speech. Just like other artists, after he thanked the audience, director, company, Meng Liangyu added, "Finally, I would also like to thank my talent scout. Because of his appreciation and support, I'm able to be here today." Outsiders might have thought Meng Liangyu was referring to Yi Shaoan, but insiders would know that Meng Liangyu was scouted and groomed by Yi Shaoting. Yi Wanwan felt quite moved when she heard Meng Liangyu's speech. Her father had great foresight, and to this day, Meng Liangyu still remembered her father. He didn't even care that what he said might offend the higher-ups. As expected, Yi and Guyuze's faces turned ugly when they heard Meng Liangyu. As an outsider, even Han Xianyu couldn't help but sigh. This Meng Liangyu is a real man. The following awards were the Best Sound Effects and Best Documentary, then the third little climax arrived, Best Supporting Actress. This award was really difficult to guess. The catfight for this award was almost as intense as the Best Actress award. The audience and judging panel had a huge quarrel over it, and all the fans of various actresses were also in turmoil. Even Yi and Guyuze's expressions became more solemn as they stared at the big screen. Xiao Koexen tapped her chin and commented, "The nominees for the Best Supporting Actress award are quite strong. They're pretty evenly matched." Han Xianyu chimed in, "Indeed, I think even the judging panel was in a sticky spot." Chapter 550. Too lucky. Everyone was discussing and awaiting the outcome anxiously while Yi Wanwan sneakily let out a yawn and looked somewhat bored. This feeling of knowing things before it happened was exactly like knowing the identity of the murderer in a thriller. Life is really boring. As expected, the host wanted to create more suspense, so after spouting a whole bunch of nonsense, he finally revealed the recipient's name. "Congratulations, Miss Lin Jiayin." After the announcement of the Best Supporting Actress, Han Xianyu and Xiao Koexen were stunned and turned their heads to Yi Wanwan at the same time. Han Xianyu raised his brows. Got 3 of them right in a row. After going through a long and slow list of small awards, the ceremony finally reached the most anticipated awards, Best Actor and Actress. The most exciting moment has arrived. The next award we'll be presenting is tonight's recipient of Best Actor. Yi Wanwan nearly fell asleep even when the host was speaking with such enthusiasm. "Are you very sleepy?" Han Xianyu asked, noticing Yi Wanwan's lack of interest. Yi Wanwan shrugged. "I already predicted the answer, so obviously I'm pretty bored." Han Xianyu treated it as a joke and shook his head helplessly. However, the second Yi Wanwan replied to him, the host was finally done with his climactic speech and announced the recipient of the Best Actor award. Tonight, Golden Orchid's Best Actor award goes to Mountains and Rivers, Li Zhongyi. The hall was filled with thunderous applause. Han Xianyu couldn't help but exclaim, "You're too lucky, you managed to get 4 out of 5 big awards right." "That's right. And I'll be getting the 5th one right as well, the most highly anticipated award of the Golden Orchid Awards ceremony tonight." Xiao Kuexian laughed. "Even I'm getting a little eager now. Will I really be the Best Actress?" When Chi Mei Lin overheard the conversation between the 3 people behind her, she muttered in a mocking way, "Tisk, some people have really thick skin, huh?" Xiao Kuexin, rather than believing this liar, why don't you believe the opinions of numerous netizens? You're the one artist on the list of artists who will never receive the Best Actress award. Chi Mei Lin's name was nominated this time as well, and the chances of her winning weren't low. She and Xiao Kuexen had a similar acting trajectory and were in rival companies, so they were constantly battling each other. So Chi Mei Lin obviously wanted to take this chance to step all over Xiao Kuexen. Unlike Xiao Kuexian's tarnished reputation, Chi Mei Lin's was much better, and she was known for keeping her hands clean in the entertainment industry and being a good example of a goddess. Each time Chi Mei Lin's team sent out a press release, they would make sure to compare her to Xiao Kuexian and trample on Xiao Kuexen. However, in reality, the one who had always been diligent and studied meticulously to improve her acting skills was Xiao Kuexen, who the public had blackened until there were no clean spots on her. On the other hand, their goddess, Chi Mei Lin, had a private life that was unbearable to even think about. Xiao Kuexen retorted, "Mind your own business." Why do you care who I believe? He's a liar. When Yi Wanwan heard that, she muttered something to herself, then said, "This liar's gotta give a word of advice to Miss Chi. Keep walking in the dark and you'll definitely bump into a ghost someday." Too bad, I just predicted that tonight, after the Golden Orchid Award ceremony, Miss Chi will meet a disastrous calamity. Maybe I can sell you a method to break the curse at a 5% discount. Chi Mei Lin burst out laughing. Ha, what a joke. I've been in the entertainment industry for such a long time, and this is the first time I've met an idiot like yourself. Is Worldwide so desperate that they're recruiting people like you? When Chi Mei Lin was almost done with her mocking, Yi finally spoke up and pretended to be a good guy. "That's enough, Mei Lin." Seeing that Yi had spoken up, Chi Mei Lin then shut her trap and turned back. "Talking to people like you guys lowers my status." Chapter 551. Grandmaster Standards? You're just scaring her? Han Xianyu asked. Yi Wanwan raised her brows. "What do you think?" Although Han Xianyu didn't say anything, he obviously thought Yi Wanwan was simply scaring her. After a song and dance performance in the middle of the ceremony, it was finally time for the Best Actress award. Several of the nominated films were shown in the slides. Fang Min, A Letter from Paris. Chi Mei Lin, My Mother. Shen Rou, Deep in the Palace. Xiao Kuexin, Legend of the Quiet Girl. The male and female hosts were echoing one another. Man, oh goodness. This is too exciting. Who will the Best Actress be this time? Woman, cut the suspense and announce it right now. We can't wait any longer. Man, why don't you give it a guess? Woman, this is too hard to guess. I really can't do it. Can you give us a hint? The two hosts kept going on and didn't reveal who it was, causing the audience to be so anxious that they stretched their necks in anticipation, but it was evident that this was the effect the organizers wanted. The big screen on stage was divided into 4 sections and live reactions of the 4 nominees were on the screen for everyone to see. As they were almost done setting the stage, the male host finally relented. "All right, since it's a request from a beauty, I'll give you a little hint. The recipient's name has 3 syllables." The female host immediately exclaimed, "Wow, that's a big hint. Does that mean the winner is either Chi Mei Lin or Xiao Kuexin?" Following the host's words, there was an uproar in the audience and everyone turned in the direction of Xiao Kuexin and Chi Mei Lin. This hint wasn't only big, it was directly announcing the winner, right? Xiao Kuexin's face darkened. No matter who the winner was, she just didn't want Chi Mei Lin, her archenemy, to win. But now that the outcome was confirmed, she knew without thinking that Chi Mei Lin would definitely ridicule her after the award recipient was announced. As for Chi Mei Lin, Yi, Gu Yuzhe, and the other artists from Emperor Sky Entertainment seated in front, there were wide smiles across their faces and Chi Mei Lin almost couldn't conceal the excitement inside. The artists seating next to her even started to congratulate her. Lin Jiayin smiled and said, "Lin Jia, congratulations." Chi Mei Lin glanced behind her then purposefully said out loud, "Don't congratulate me yet, the result isn't out yet. Maybe the Best Actress will be Xiao Kuexin." As the cameras were on them right now, Xiao Kuexin didn't bother fighting with her at this moment and could only suppress the anger in her heart. From the moment she debuted, nobody appreciated the effort and hard work she put in. People only knew how to insult her and she was even starting to wonder whether all the effort she put in was worth it. Han Xianyu looked somewhat awkward as he smiled bitterly. Didn't think that Emperor Sky Entertainment would clinch both awards? Yi Wanwan was annoyed. "Hey, don't you guys have any trust in the Grandmaster's skills at all?" Xiao Kuexin knew Yi Wanwan was simply trying to cheer her up, but that really couldn't alleviate her frustration at the moment. Maybe she shouldn't have had any ridiculous hopes of becoming a successful actress and building a career from the beginning. Maybe she should just continue being a flower vase, continuing to strive to make money. All right, enough with the suspense. If we go on, you guys will probably start throwing eggs at us. Next, let's welcome our previous Best Actress, Chiu Yu, Great Beauty Chiu, to reveal the answer. Actually, the hint from the host just now was already equivalent to announcing the result, and everyone was no longer so anxious anymore. Qiu Yu stood in front of the microphone and opened the envelope in her hands. In the next second, a hint of surprise flashed in her eyes. She paused for a moment before continuing. The 46th Golden Orchids Best Actress Award goes to. Following Qiu Yu's announcement, Chi Mei Lin responded to everyone's congratulatory wishes while she pushed aside the hair on her forehead and stood up slowly. Best Actress Award goes to Legend of the Quiet Girl, Xiao Kuexin. Chapter 552. Why don't we honor the bet now? Following Qiu Yu's voice, the entire hall was filled with a strange silence. Everyone thought they heard wrong. What was the name Qiu Yu announced? Xiao Kuexin? Not Chi Mei Lin but Xiao Kuexin. How could that be? Chi Mei Lin's face was drained of all color as she stood there frozen. Her delighted eyes were instantly filled with disbelief. And the person who was in even more shock than Chi Mei Lin was Xiao Kuexin herself. Xiao Kuexin, who was like an unmoving mountain even when she was criticized by thousands, revealed a confused and shocked expression. Exinjie. Xiao Kuexin only returned to her senses after Han Xianyu called her name. Her first reaction was to look at Yi Bai next to Han Xianyu. All his predictions came true. When her eyes met his bright yet resolute eyes, her heart thumped uncontrollably for a second. Why didn't I notice that when Yi Bai mentioned that I would win the Best Actress award, he didn't look like he was joking at all? He really thought I would win this award. At this moment, the silent hall suddenly exploded in noise and thunderous applause. The production team behind Legend of the Quiet Girl and many worldwide artists stepped forward to hug and congratulate Xiao Kuexin excitedly. Lin Jiayin had to pull Chi Mei Lin back before she reacted. She sat down with a stiff expression. But the camera had already recorded her standing up prematurely. The Golden Orchid Awards for the Best Supporting Actress, Best Supporting Actor, and Best Actor all landed in Emperor Sky Entertainment's hands. If they had gotten the award for Best Actress as well, Worldwide would have their pride thrown on the floor for merely winning the Best Newcomer award. Nobody expected that such a big twist would happen at the last moment. An unexpected winner emerged and the Best Actress was actually Xiao Kuexin from Worldwide Entertainment, causing everyone to be taken aback. A tinge of embarrassment appeared on Yi's gentle and calm little face, but she still smiled and clapped, acting gracious while Gu Yuzhe's face was completely black. After all, he sounded so confident when the host interviewed him earlier, yet now he was actually being slapped in the face in front of everyone. All the applause, congratulatory wishes, hugs, the feeling of ascending to heaven from hell, and the feeling of receiving a new lease on life so suddenly jolted Xiao Kuexin's mind. In the next second, she passed Han Xianyu and pulled the man next to him in a tight embrace, then mumbled softly in his ear, "Thank you, little fortune teller Ji." Yi Wanwan was stunned, then hugged her back in good taste. "Exanjie, congratulations. You don't have to thank me, it has nothing to do with me. You worked hard for it." Xiao Kuexin calmed down, then suddenly blinked and said, "Whatever it was, I won. I'm a person of my word, so why don't we honor our bet right now?" Yi Wanwan was dumbfounded. "Huh." Han Xianyu quickly pretended to hug Xiao Kuexin to congratulate her and held her back, then reminded her softly in her ear, "Stop messing around, Exanjie. There are so many people watching." But according to Xiao Kuexin's character, kissing Yi Bai in front of everyone was something she would really do. At the same time, the host excitedly exclaimed on stage, "Congratulations, Kuexin. Let's invite Golden Orchid's Best Actress up on stage to receive her award." Xiao Kuexin could only pout regretfully. "All right, I'll go up there first." Sure, Exanjie, go on." Yi Wanwan wiped the sweat off her forehead. Xiao Kuexin's just too open-minded. She's probably the only one in the entertainment industry who isn't afraid of scandals at all. Chapter 553. I'm afraid you'll die before I do. Xiao Kuexin walked up on stage in a red evening gown, radiating a glow from inside. The host quickly allowed Xiao Kuexin to give her speech according to the program. This outcome is truly surprising. Kuexin, sorry for saying this, but you also knew that among all the nominees, you didn't have a very high chance of winning. Do you have anything to say about winning the award this time? Xiao Kuexian's gaze swept across the audience. She took a deep breath and said, I'm also really surprised with this outcome. Truth be told, just a few seconds ago, I was struggling inside. I was wondering whether I should simply give up. Anyway, I'm not normally recognized for anything I do, as if the insults I receive are the truth. To the public, Xiao Kuexian seemed to shrug off all the insults, but truthfully, she disliked being dismissed by everyone. After all, everybody likes to receive compliments and recognition. Xiao Kuexian revealed a hint of bitter helplessness and continued, everybody knows that in this industry, words can muddle the truth and determine the life or death of an artist. I thought that since being insulted was also a form of publicity, I'd just continue earning my money. Why bother improving my acting skills, and why should I prove myself? Xiao Kuexian's speech made everyone go silent. They all knew she was right, but in the entertainment industry, only Xiao Kuexian would dare to say something like this in public. Xiao Kuexian continued, and her eyes seemed slightly emotional. So I'm very grateful that there's an award like the Golden Orchid that isn't influenced by public opinion and external factors, giving me a chance to prove myself. At the same time, I also sincerely hope that everyone will take a look at this work from an objective perspective and see who I really am. When Xiao Kuexian said her piece, she received a burst of applause and approval. Han Xianyu also heaved a sigh of relief. Thankfully, Xiao Kuexian managed to be tactful with her words and even concluded it pretty well. Yi Wanwan knew that in her previous life, this speech actually pulled a terrifying amount of box office interest for Legend of the Quiet Girl, and broke the box office record for that year. Next, Xiao Kuexian followed the norm and thanked her fans, crew, company, and sponsors. Finally, she paused. Her eyes glanced below the stage and said, in addition, I would like to especially give thanks to a friend. Before coming up on stage, almost everyone around me was consoling me, telling me that it was fine that I didn't win, but there was only one person who told me from the start that I would definitely be the Golden Orchid's best actress. He let me know that among hundreds and thousands of people, there's at least one person who still believes in me. Having heard what Xiao Kuexian said, Chi Mei Lin almost couldn't maintain her composure in front of the camera anymore. Darn it! That swindler actually got it right. Doesn't matter who gets the Best Actress award, but it shouldn't be Xiao Kuexian. Very soon, the award ceremony came to an end. Yi stood up and said to Xiao Kuexian naturally, Kuexian, congratulations. You earned it. The people from Emperor Sky think I earned it? What hypocrites! Xiao Kuexian smiled. Why do I recall a certain someone from your company saying that I'm the NO? One artist who will never receive an award? Chi Mei Lin was so angry that her overly done face was almost twisted. Xiao Kuexian, I suggest you keep that gloating face of yours. I'll watch how you're going to die getting roasted for winning the Golden Orchid Best Actress award with that lousy acting. Xiao Kuexian chuckled and mumbled, I'm afraid you'll die before I do. My highly skilled little fortune teller just read your fortune, and once the award ceremony ends, you'll meet a disastrous tragedy. Chapter 554. Lost all standing and reputation. Xiao Kuexian blinked and held Yi Wanwan back by the wrist. Little Ji, am I right? Yi Wanwan didn't want to embarrass Xiao Kuexian in front of everyone, so she coughed lightly and replied, In her previous life, she read about the Golden Orchid Award ceremony online and remembered very clearly that shortly after she was done reading, the website was updated with Chi Mei Lin's scandal about her organizing a sex party and even gathering people to take drugs together. With such a serious scandal, it completely crushed the inspirational and perfect goddess image Chi Mei Lin created for her fans. Overhearing the conversation between these two people, Chi Mei Lin gave a disdainful look and seemed completely fearless. Xiao Kuexian, you're really amazing, an old cow eating fresh grass? Messing around with these young gigolos at your age. Even better, now you've been brainwashed, right? Tragedy? I really want to see what kind of tragedy I'll encounter. Even if she didn't get the Best Actress award, she was still influential. Furthermore, she had a big backing like Yi Group. Was there anything she couldn't handle? Gu Yuzhe straightened his lapels, stood up loftily and looked coldly in Yi Wanwan's direction. I won't burden this gentleman here with artists from my company. In retrospect, Yi Wanwan felt so foolish that she wanted to kill herself when she recalled the time she was so madly in love with Gu Yuzhe, but it was etched in her memory after all. Each time she saw Gu Yuzhe, the anger in her body was still uncontrollable. Faced with Gu Yuzhe's arrogant expression, Yi Wanwan smiled and said casually, Chairman Gu, you're too polite. It will never be my turn to be burdened with Chairman Gu around. Emperor Sky is such a big shot that it's fine even if you lose 1 or 2 artists. The way Yi Wanwan smiled was even more similar to her expression the day she ridiculed him, causing Gu Yuzhe's mood to darken further. He was about to speak, but his phone started ringing with endless notifications, disrupting his train of thought. Gu Yuzhe suppressed the fury in his heart and opened those messages. In the end, he seemed to have read something on his phone as his face instantly changed like a storm was approaching. He shot daggers at Chi Mei Lin. Yuzhe, what is it? Yi asked worriedly. Chi Mei Lin probed carefully as well. Chairman Gu, did something happen? The way Gu Yuzhe glared at her with such iciness and gloominess gave her an inexplicable sense of unease. It couldn't be that all those things were leaked, right? It can't be. I was so careful and secretive each time. However, in the next second, the furious Gu Yuzhe threw his phone directly at Chi Mei Lin's face. Chi Mei Lin cried out in pain, then picked the phone up, trembling. When she saw the first photo on the phone, Chi Mei Lin's face turned aghast. It was actually a disgusting photo of her with a bunch of guys. However, this was only the beginning. There were even clearer images taken of her abusing drugs. Chi Mei Lin's delicate face was completely pale. She panicked and her fingers started shaking. Gu, Chairman Gu, please save me. Director Yi, save me. Almost at the same time Chi Mei Lin pleaded for help, alarmed gasps resounded around them. Oh damn. Big news. The person in the photo is the goddess worshipped by many fans, Chi Mei Lin. Orgy party and taking drugs. This is explosive. Chapter 555. Amazing little Jiji Qiao Ke and Han Xian Yu looked at each other in confusion. What happened? The two of them and the surrounding people who hadn't gotten a clue what was going on quickly whipped out their phones and checked. After they found out what happened, their faces were in astonishment as well. Yi Wanwan stood there quietly without any expression. Chi Mei Lin pleaded like an insane woman. Director Yi, quickly get someone to delete those pics. Yi's face was gloomy. It's too late. These things spread too rapidly, and since everyone's attention was currently on the Golden Orchid Award ceremony, Chi Mei Lin's scandal exploded instantly once the ceremony was over. As expected, she saw that Chi Mei Lin's orgy party, Chi Mei Lin on drugs, and many other keywords were increasing in popularity once she opened various popular websites and blogs. What was worse was that Chi Mei Lin wasn't the only one at that party. There were also a number of artists from Emperor Sky present, and now the commenters gradually questioned whether all of Emperor Sky Entertainment was an obscene drug den. Everybody in the ballroom slowly found out about this gossip and whispered to one another as they looked in Chi Mei Lin's direction. I always thought Qiaoke Xen was the one who had a messy personal life and really didn't expect that after Qiaoke Xen received the Golden Orchid Best Actress Award, it would be Chi Mei Lin who's so messed up. What's so surprising about that? It's like that in the entertainment industry, you can't really differentiate between what's real or fake. You're too naive to believe in whatever you see on the surface. There were already scandals about Chi Mei Lin's wild side before, alright? I heard that the senior management of Emperor Sky already warned her not to go overboard and gave quite a sum of money to PR so nothing major happened in the past. Too bad she wants to court death. It's definitely over for her this time. Emperor Sky's money went down the drain and she even dragged a group of artists down with her. Ever since the change of management in Yi Group, things have really become messy. Chi Mei Lin felt those prickly gazes were like thorns of fire. When she thought about how her status in the industry would be destroyed, her face was filled with fear. Chairman Gu, Director Yi, you guys have to help me. Quickly, get PR to delete all those pics. Delete them. Shut up. Gu Yuze berated her coldly. With a scandal like this, PR would be no use. The news spread already, anybody could store the pictures privately, so there was no point in trying to delete them. Mixing with bad company already ruined her image and reputation, but taking drugs would be enough to wreck any artist's career in the industry. It was completely over for Chi Mei Lin. They spent so much resources and energy on her, but everything was wasted now. Not only that, but they still had to pay large sums to various major endorsement and advertising companies. When Yi heard someone saying, ever since the change of management in the Yi group, things have really become messy, fury burned within her as it hit her right in her sore spot. She chided softly, all right, stop talking about it here. Let's get out already, haven't you embarrassed yourself enough? The group of people avoided the crowd and swarm of reporters as they hurriedly left the ballroom. Before they left, Gu Yuze's dark and icy gaze paused on Yi Wanwan for a split second. Yi Wanwan returned a smile in a casual and relaxed manner, feeling extremely satisfied for her successful provocation. Gu Yuze's eyes constricted abruptly. He wasn't sure why, but this man gave him a very bad feeling. It was as if he'd seen a ghost. Everything that shouldn't have happened actually happened according to this man's predictions, making him feel even more troubled when he recalled what this man said earlier on that his fortune might not be that prosperous. As for Xiao Kexan and Han Xianyu, they witnessed once again how Yi Wanwan's predictions came true and were in a daze. That worked? You're amazing, little Ji. Don't tell me, you really know how to read people's fortunes? Chapter 556. I'm into the domineering type. Oh yes, Yi Bai, why don't you read my fortune too? As the saying goes, those on the waterfront pavilion get the moonlight first. 1. I've known you for quite some time but haven't gotten you to read my fortune yet. I feel a little left out. Han Xianyu suddenly recalled. Yi Wanwan turned to Han Xianyu helplessly. Your future's obviously as bright as the sun. What's there to read? You can predict my marriage. Or when I will have peach blossom luck. When Yi Wanwan heard his question, she lowered her eyes and thought deeply. Marriage? How will it be? Han Xianyu looked somewhat nervous. Yi Wanwan rubbed her chin and thought for a long while. You don't seem to have any. Han Xianyu was stunned. What? Nobody? Am I going to be alone for life? Yi Wanwan quickly said, cough, no, what I meant was, sorry, I don't think I can calculate this for you. She might have some memory of the love life of more famous artists in the entertainment industry, but the problem was that she already changed the path of Han Xianyu's life. Hence, she had no idea what Han Xianyu's future would be like. Why can't you calculate it? Han Xianyu knitted his brows. Yi Wanwan didn't have any way of explaining herself and could only say, this thing is very deep. You wouldn't get it even if I told you. Anyway, there are some people who are more special, so I can't really read their fortunes. Han Xianyu looked a little confused. Special? Xiao Kuexin hurriedly leaned over and probed, what about me? Exanjie, your peach blossom luck has always been flourishing. Surely, you don't need me to calculate it for you, right? Yi Wanwan said. That's true. Xiao Kuexin spoke while she turned and took a quick glimpse at the little peach blossom next to her. She didn't expect that after so long, she would finally fancy a little Ji who truly satiated her appetite, but he already had a girlfriend so she felt quite regretful. Oh right, I'll be having a celebration party tonight. Xiao Bai, are you coming? Xiao Kuexin asked. It's a treat from Exanjie. Obviously, it'd be rude to decline, but I have to call my girlfriend and tell her first, Yi Wanwan said. Xiao Kuexin raised her brows slightly. It's just a gathering. Do you really need to report that? Han Xianyu tried to explain. Exanjie, Xiao Bai's girlfriend is quite strict. Xiao Kuexin looked shocked and seemed quite taken aback. I couldn't tell that Xiao Bai would be afraid of his girlfriend. After all, he was quite forward and flirtatious that night, taking on both men and women. Han Xianyu laughed and teased. Actually, I was quite surprised when I found out too. Yi Wanwan thought to herself. That's right, I'm henpecked. So what? Xiao Kuexin mumbled. I thought you would prefer cute and helpless-looking girls. Yi Wanwan chuckled. Nah, I'm into the domineering type. Time flew by. Qi Meilin's scandal continued to spread, and finally, Emperor Sky could only give up on her and announced they'd be shutting her out. As for Xiao Kuexian, due to her speech during the Golden Orchid Award ceremony, the box office interest in The Legend of the Quiet Girl soared once again and broke numerous records. In addition, many people compared her to Qi Meilin. After being insulted and having her reputation tarnished for so many years, public opinion started to move towards a more positive perception of her. As for Yi Wanwan, she was occupied almost every day. Aside from working and learning, she spent most of her time training 11 and the others. The head captain assessment would be taking place in just a few days' time, and assuming the post of a master all of a sudden made her quite stressed out. Chapter 557, Glow of a Firefly Sea Residence, Bodyguard Meeting Room. Lu Ying was dressed in a full black outfit, and he sat on the main seat with a rigid and stern face. There were over 10 people seated in the meeting room. They were the leaders of various dark teams in the Sea family. Captain Lu Ying, the assessment will be starting in a few days' time. You must teach that proud guy a good lesson. A certain buff leader said. Tisk. Lu Ying made himself comfortable and narrowed his eyes. Junior, just call me Lu Ying. The head captain is 11. Captain, what are you even talking about? 11's not even good enough to be the leader of Dark Team 1. How could he fight for your post? He's delusional. Junior sneered. He was the leader of Dark Team 3. Someone next to him said, I heard 11 has been training very hard and rarely comes out. He's probably preparing for this assessment. Another person chuckled. No matter how hard he trains, he'll still be a tick in Captain Lu Ying's eyes. What can he do? Oh right, let me tell you guys something. The leader of Dark Team 3 laughed. I heard that 11 begged Yi Wanwan to be his master and asked her to teach him some martial arts skills. Are you guys scared now? Following what Junior said, peals of laughter instantly the entire meeting room. 11's a dumbass. If Captain Lu Ying didn't restrain himself for master's sake, Yi Wanwan would have been beaten to a pulp. As if she would have a chance to reveal her power at the bar. When that incident at the bar was brought up, a tinge of gloominess appeared in Lu Ying's eyes. That woman was all brute force and her skills were mediocre. I just can't understand why Master, who has always been wise, would be so taken by this flower vase to the point of losing his sanity. How could this woman be compared to Miss Qin Ruoxi? Captain Lu Ying, 11 probably wanted to curry favor with Yi Wanwan and get her to sing praises about him in front of Master. By then, if Master relents and really lets 11, a certain leader frowned. They were the Sea family's bodyguards, so how could they allow a silly woman to throw them into disorder? Tisk. The corners of Lu Ying's lips lifted upwards and revealed a sinister smile. His eyes were extremely terrifying. Yi Wanwan is simply Master's toy. Miss Ruoxi alone by Master's side is enough for him. Yi Wanwan just has the glow of a firefly. How can she compete with the moon? He didn't believe that his master would actually disrupt the entire head captain assessment for a woman like her. That's true. 11 asked Yi Wanwan to train him, probably viewing her as his life raft. He probably thinks Yi Wanwan has some martial arts skills he can learn to fight with our captain. The leader of Dark Team 3 laughed. Lu Ying sneered. He had never cared about 11 or Yi Wanwan. Master almost lost his sanity because of a woman, that Yi Wanwan. What qualities or abilities does she have that makes her qualified to enter the Sea family and become the mistress of the household? She's the future mistress of the Sea family after all. You guys better be more careful, one of the leaders advised. Lu Ying adjusted his position and his gaze swept across everyone. The future mistress of the household can only be Miss Qin Ruoxi. What Captain Lu Ying is saying is, who on earth is Yi Wanwan and how can she compare to Miss Qin Ruoxi? Based on Miss Ruoxi's family background and personal abilities, that Yi Wanwan definitely can't compete with her. Chapter 558. He must have his reasons. While they were speaking, the door of the meeting room was pushed open lightly. Miss Ruoshi. Upon seeing her appearance, all the leaders quickly greeted her. Lu Ying stood up immediately. Miss Ruoshi, please take a seat. No need. Ruoshi smiled. How can I simply sit here? It's meant for the chairman. Qin Ruoshi spoke and sat down next to Lu Ying. A grim-looking man followed behind Qin Ruoshi. He was a close confidant of Lu Ying named Yuan Sheng, a member of the bodyguard team. Recently, Yuan Sheng had been training alongside Qin Ruoshi. Qin Ruoshi and Lu Ying were currently planning to get Yuan Sheng to compete to become the leader of Dark Team 1, kicking 11 out completely. Yuan Sheng, how's your training with Miss Ruoshi? Lu Ying looked at the grave and stern-looking man. Head captain, Miss Ruoshi's highly skilled and very effective in her teaching. For this fight, you don't need to trouble yourself, captain. I'm able to finish 11 off myself, the grim-looking man replied, then turned to Qin Ruoshi. His face was completely filled with admiration. Due to Lu Ying's influence, these people also treated Qin Ruoshi as the future mistress of the Sea family. Lu Ying, don't be discouraged either. Agio only got 11 to replace you temporarily in a moment of madness as a little punishment for you. Don't make such mistakes again next time. After the assessment, the post of head captain will belong to you again. Qin Ruoshi looked at Lu Ying and assured him. Hearing that, there was darkness in Lu Ying's eyes. Miss Ruoshi, I really don't understand, master. Isn't it enough to have you by his side? Why must he be head over heels over a flower vase? Qin Ruoshi furrowed her brows instantly. Lu Ying, don't spout nonsense. Agio must have his reasons. Reasons? Lu Ying shook his head. In the past, Master was wise and respected. All the missions taken on by our bodyguards were important and crucial, but today he actually made us go to the bar to protect that Yi Wanwan. If not for Master's sake, I wouldn't let her live for beating me up. Speaking up to this point, the cold glow in Lu Ying's eyes started flashing. Lu Ying, you talk too much, Qin Ruoshi said. Miss Ruoshi, you're just too nice. Lu Ying couldn't let it go. I'm speaking the truth. Who does she think she is, and how can she even compete with you? If she really becomes the mistress of the Sea family, wouldn't the Sea family be a complete mess? It's because you're always so tolerant that Yi Wanwan is becoming more and more wild. Miss Ruoshi, you should let her know who the real mistress of the Sea family is and who Master really cares about. Master is completely blinded by that woman. Miss Ruoshi, you should speak up. Captain Lu Ying's absolutely right. What kind of missions did we have in the past? Never mind that a few days ago, Master made Captain and all of us go down to a bar to protect a woman who was drunk and crazy. She kept hurting everyone, and in the end, the person who got punished was Captain Lu Ying. What's the meaning of this? The leader of Dark Team 3 chimed in. Qin Ruoshi frowned. Lu Ying, you have anger inside you, so let it out during the assessment this time. Next time, don't complain so much. If Agio hears this, even I won't be able to protect you. Miss Ruoshi, Lu Ying wanted to say more but was waved off by Qin Ruoshi. I believe that Agio has his reasons for his actions. Chapter 559. Teacher is right. Seeing that Qin Ruoshi was still shielding Master even when things had reached this point, the hatred for Yi Wanwan from all the bodyguards present almost rose to a climax. Today, the entire Dark Team 1 is taking refuge in Yi Wanwan, and since this is the case, it's time that Dark Team 1 gets a thorough cleanse. Lu Ying turned to Yuan Sheng. Yuan Sheng, you've been learning from Miss Ruoshi for quite a while. Don't let Miss Ruoshi and I down this time. You must become the leader of Dark Team 1. Hearing that, Yuan Sheng nodded and scoffed. Captain, don't worry. 11 is useless. It'll be easy to take him down. Good. Lu Ying nodded, then stood up and walked to the window. He looked towards the training room of Dark Team 1 and sneered. 11. You really think Master will take away my post as captain just for that woman, huh? Getting Yi Wanwan to be your trainer, your position as the leader of Dark Team 1 will be gone too. I'm really eager to see what that flower vase can actually teach you. At the same time, in Dark Team 1's training room, Pow! Pow slap! Two figures flew across swiftly then were slammed to the ground. Teacher, let's try again. 11, who was filled with bruises and a swollen face, rushed into the ring once again. Teacher? I would to rest. After the delicate man stood up, he stood at the side of the ring as he stuttered. Stop. Little stutterer, did you say you want to rest? Yi Wanwan wiped the stream of perspiration off her forehead. Wise. Yes, teacher, you're right. The little stutterer nodded. Little Stutterer wasn't his real name. It was just that when he first entered the C family's bodyguard team, everyone started calling him Little Stutterer and nobody actually asked for his real name before. Little Stutterer, you should take a break. 11 longed for one too. For several days, other than eating and sleeping, 11 and Little Stutter had been living in the training room and even Yi Wanwan didn't leave the room at all. Yi Wanwan didn't mind it. At first, when she started learning about martial arts and fighting, she wasn't interested at all, but after some time, her interest grew and today, if she didn't practice a few moves in a day, she would feel very uncomfortable. She was at a point when even if 11 and Little Stutterer wanted to take a day or half day off, Yi Wanwan wouldn't let the two of them leave. However, during this period, 11 and Little Stutter improved drastically. They were completely different people compared to before Yi Wanwan started training them. Teacher, watch my moves. 11 yelled. His right arm was like an alert snake swimming in midair, then he instantly bent his palm into a claw and aimed for Yi Wanwan's neck. At this moment, Yi Wanwan was standing a distance away, not moving at all. Success! Seeing that his blow was going to land, 11 was elated. However, just as a broad smile appeared on 11's face, Yi Wanwan dodged to her left instinctively, causing 11's claw to grab only air. What? 11 was stunned. Taking advantage of the fact that 11 was in a daze, Yi Wanwan swept her left leg out like a dragon. Pow! Io! 11 howled in pain. He was sent flying 7 or 8 meters away by Yi Wanwan's kick. 11, what are you doing? Yi Wanwan frowned and chided him. Teacher, 11 was somewhat embarrassed. I told you before, you have to focus before the assessment. Don't be affected by any emotions. Your happiness, anger, or whatever emotions you have to hide them and can only release them after the assessment. Otherwise, a single mistake could cost you your life. Yi Wanwan advised him sternly. Actually, she was simply teaching him according to her own state of mind when she fought. Each time she sparred with 11 and Little Stutterer, her mind would be completely clear, and because of that, she had the ability to see clearly and calmly discern the enemy's next moves and thoughts. Chapter 560, Counterattack, Captain Yi. Let your emotions. The Little Stutterer stood below the ring and could see this fight clearly, so he simply voiced his opinion. He should just let the teacher do the talking. 11's lips twitched slightly. All right, the Little Stutterer nodded. What Little Stutterer meant was, don't let your emotions affect your skills. When you're fighting, abandon all your emotions completely, Yi Wanwan said. Yes. 11 nodded immediately. Again. Yi Wanwan beckoned 11 with her finger. Teacher, why don't you make the first move? 11 laughed. During the time he'd been learning from Yi Wanwan, she had always been attacked and never was the first to make a move. This time, Yi Wanwan shook her head. It wasn't that she didn't want to make the first move, but it was only when she felt threatened that her body reacted instinctively. If she attacked first, that mysterious aura would never appear. So, she could only be attacked and was unable to be the attacker. Teacher, I've only been learning how to counterattack. If this was the assessment, what should I do? 11 looked at Yi Wanwan and smiled bitterly. Yi Wanwan pondered for a moment. Isn't it easy? Just let the other party attack you first. 11 frowned and felt like this advice wasn't too useful. What do you know? This is called coping with shifting events by sticking to a fundamental principle. It's a top-notch skill in martial arts. Yi Wanwan pretended to be cool and all-knowing. Really, 11 was still a little doubtful. Am I the teacher or are you the teacher? Yi Wanwan was somewhat displeased. She was a martial arts master, Yet this disciple of hers actually dared to doubt her. "You're the teacher." "You're right, it's me who's dim-witted." 11 quickly tried to take back what he said. The sparring continued. Yi Wanwan stood in the middle of the ring and beckoned 11. "Come, hit me." Receiving Yi Wanwan's provocation, 11 glared at her, raised his fists and charged towards her. In the next second, Yi Wanwan's left hand moved and using the lightest strength, she blocked 11's punch and hit him with her right fist. "I need to calm down." Seeing Yi Wanwan's incoming fist, 11 took a deep breath and curbed all his emotions. Pow! Almost in an instant, 11's body swiftly grabbed hold of Yi Wanwan's fist. At this moment, the little stutterer's jaw dropped and he was completely flabbergasted. Ever since they started learning from Yi Wanwan, this was the first time 11 actually blocked an attack from her. "I did it." 11 looked at the fist in his palm, completely shocked, then the shock turned into happiness immediately. "Ah, I did it." Pow! While 11 was complacent, he was sent flying again by Yi Wanwan's kick. Yi Wanwan sighed and spoke sincerely as she looked at 11 who was groaning in pain after being kicked by her. "Seems like you haven't succeeded." The three of them continued training without stopping. For the sake of the assessment, 11 and Little Stutterer worked really hard. Although they were always tortured during Yi Wanwan's training sessions, after they sensed the improvement in their skills, they didn't find it tiring at all and felt even more rejuvenated. The final day in Dark Team 1's training room. Tomorrow will be the actual fight. Training stops now, both of you should get a good rest. Yi Wanwan looked at her two disciples. "Thank you, teacher." 11 was filled with confidence. "Little Stutterer, you've improved a lot after learning from teacher. It shouldn't be a problem for you to get a post as a leader." 11 looked at Little Stutterer. "Wise, yes, captains, right." Little Stutterer nodded continuously. Chapter 561. Head Captain Assessment. Early in the morning at the C family's competition grounds. Aside from a couple of higher-ups from the C family, Su-Yi was also there early. Each time they had the Dark Team Bodyguard competition, Su-Yi would be the judge, and because of the change in the head captain, Lu-Ying and many higher-ups from the C family would also be judges along with Su-Yi. At this moment, the competition grounds were filled with people. Other than the bodyguards who were in the middle of their missions and couldn't make it, the other bodyguards were all present. Not long after, 11 along with the members of Dark Team 1 and arrived at the scene. Seeing the arrival of 11 and the others, many leaders, who were supporters of Lu-Ying, curled their lips into sinister smiles, especially after they saw Yi Wanwan next to 11. The disdain in their eyes was apparent. 11 is going nuts from thinking about the post of head captain. He actually got that woman to be his teacher. After being in this post for some time, of course you wouldn't want it to be taken away, but his skills can't compare to others. Among all the teams, Dark Team 1 is the weakest, and compared to all the other team leaders, 11's skills are second to Lu-Ying, so how could he even dream of fighting to be the head captain? Seeing how 11 was full of confidence, Dark Team 3's leader sneered. "An ignorant man is the happiest. Does he really think he can be head captain over Lu-Ying? One should have a better gauge of his own abilities. Otherwise, how is he any different from a buffoon? That woman, aside from coaxing Master, what else can she do? If it wasn't for her, head captain Lu-Ying wouldn't be punished by Master, letting 11 gain an advantage. Tiska, should we give in to 11 when he gets in the ring and starts giving us some girly punches?" Girly punch? Did he learn them from Yi Wanwan? Haha. Following the ridicule of some of the leaders, many bodyguards started laughing as well. "Shut your trap." On the competition stage, Su-Yi's eyes were frosty as he swept his gaze across everybody present. Hearing that, the team leaders knitted their brows and were quite upset, but they knew well enough not to speak anymore. These bodyguards were still quite afraid of Su-Yi. Su-Yi looked really nice, but when he really got angry, even ex-head captain Lu-Ying might not be able to handle him. As the saying went, a scholar can never win an argument with a military man even when he's right, but Su-Yi was of another species. He was the complete opposite of this. Su-Yi deserved quite a bit of credit for his efforts in allowing them to reach their current status in the C family as the Dark Team Guards. If it wasn't for Su Yi's planning behind the scenes for the development of the bodyguard team, they might just be ordinary guards in the C family. Head Captain Lu Ying. Not long after, the leader of Dark Team 3 shouted at Lu Ying, who was making his way over. Lu Ying arrived and spoke indifferently. Before the end of this assessment, the head captain is still 11. Hearing that, some of the leaders chuckled. 11 was a temporary head captain, but in their hearts, he was no different from a clown. During these past few months, nobody treated him like a real head captain. On most days, 11 gave them orders and most of them outwardly obeyed but secretly ignored him. Some even turned a deaf ear. What head captain Lu Ying meant was that at this moment, 11 is the head captain, but after the competition, it's another discussion altogether who the head captain is. The leader of Dark Team 3 laughed. "That's what you think, I didn't say that." Lu Ying replied plainly. Of course. The leader of Dark Team 3 nodded. Chapter 562. Extremely strong. Lu Ying looked at 11, who was seated nearby, and strode over with his lips curved upwards slightly. 11, perform well during this competition. Don't let the big guy down. Hearing this, 11 responded, "It seems like there's nobody who wants me to get the post of head captain, huh?" "That may not be true. I believe Miss Yi Wanwan wishes you have some sort of breakthrough. I heard you have Miss Wanwan as your teacher." Lu Ying's eyes glistened and looked indifferently towards Yi Wanwan, who was seated among the audience. "That's right," 11 admitted it fully. "Teacher is extremely strong. Too bad I was only able to learn a bit from her, but even the bit of knowledge she taught me should be enough for the competition." Extremely strong? The corners of Lu Ying's lips lifted up, revealing a subtle look of ridicule while a tinge of contempt appeared in his eyes. That night at the bar, if it wasn't for Master's sake, he would have taken that woman's life with just his fingers. However, 11 actually used the words, extremely powerful, to describe Yi Wanwan. 11. Lu Ying raised his right arm and placed it gently around 11's left shoulder as he spoke with utmost sincerity. "It's not a bad thing if you wish to improve, continue climbing upwards and obtain higher positions, but the position and your own abilities should match. The most important thing is, as Junior said, you must know your own abilities. It's no use to turn to any old doctor you can find if you're terminally ill one." Hearing what Lu Ying said, 11 knitted his brows. It was that Lu Ying insulted him, but what he said was filled with insults towards his teacher, and he didn't even try to be subtle with it. "Captain Killy, Captain 11, will beat you for sure." The little stutterer, who was standing next to Lu Ying, spoke up. "Tisk," Lu Ying scoffed. "I really wanted to learn some impressive-looking but useless moves from 11. It's just that he might not be able to last till I get in the ring." Lu Ying shook his head and left immediately after speaking. After Lu Ying left, the members of Dark Team 1 had their fists clenched tightly. Among all the Dark Teams, Dark Team 1 wasn't as weak as the others thought. However, each time they were on a mission, the head captains simply ignored them, almost like they didn't exist at all. It wasn't until 11 became the temporary head captain that their missions became better gradually. Each one of their missions was executed perfectly. They were very efficient and not inferior to any of the other teams at all. Today, Lu Ying was no longer the head captain, yet he was still arrogant and tyrannical, completely overlooking head captain 11. "Captain, you must let them see the strength of Dark Team 1. "That's right." The other Dark Teams always look at our Dark Team 1 through tinted glasses. 2. We're just as effective as the other teams in completing our missions, and Captain 11 is just as skilled as Lu Ying. I think Captain 11's a better leader than Lu Ying. Look at our team, we were always looked down on, so we must let them know who the strongest Dark Team is. At this moment, the members of Dark Team 1 were feeling indignant at this injustice. "Captain, you must get the post of head captain." A certain member of Dark Team 1 gritted his teeth. Hearing that, 11 responded, "I'll do my best." If it was 3 months ago, 11 wouldn't have so much confidence for sure. But things were different now. After undergoing such high-intensity training, maybe? "I can do it." 11's eyes lit up slightly. Chapter 563. Challenge from the spectator seats. Yi Wanwan glanced at 11 from time to time and knitted her brows. Yi Wanwan had been interacting a lot with 11 lately and found that he had a lot on his mind. He showed signs of low confidence which recklessly appeared between his brows. Yi Wanwan did mention it occasionally, but 11 was always silent about it and didn't comment. At this moment, 11 had his fists balled up and the light in his eyes was flashing nonstop. In the past, although he wanted to be the head captain, he wasn't persistent about pursuing it. Can I, really? 11 clenched his fists tighter. A while later, Qin Ruoshi walked over slowly while Yuan Sheng followed behind her. Miss Ruoshi, why are you here? Lu Ying stepped forward when he saw her. Qin Ruoshi smiled calmly and said, to support you guys. A tinge of gratefulness appeared in Lu Ying's eyes. Miss Ruoshi, there won't be any accidents during this year's competition. Hearing that, Qin Ruoshi nodded and exchanged a few words with Yuan Sheng before walking towards the spectator seats. Captain Lu Ying, we have to trouble you to teach 11 a lesson, huh? After Qin Ruoshi left, Yuan Sheng turned to Lu Ying and chuckled. At the moment, Lu Ying didn't have much to say. Before the start of the competition, I'll go through the rules once. Su Yi scanned the entire area and said, every bodyguard from the C family is entitled to take part and fight for the position of team leader. After successfully advancing to a team leader position, you can challenge the head captain, 11. You'll only have one chance, and if you win, you'll replace 11 for the time being until the end of the competition. At the end of the competition, the winner will be promoted to head captain. You can use any cold weapons in the ring, but sneak attacks and the use of firearms are prohibited. Understand? Yes. All the Dark Team bodyguards responded in unison. Good. Su Yi nodded and turned to the few higher-ups in the C family. Is there anything you would like to add? No, thank you. A certain higher-up replied. Okay, since this is the case, the competition starts now. Su Yi nodded, then walked out of the ring. After Su Yi left, the bodyguards didn't make a sound. In the rules, any bodyguards from the Dark Teams were allowed to join in the challenge, but having said that, there weren't many interested in joining. Each team leader's strength was not to be underestimated, and it was very difficult to beat them. The chances of winning were very slim, and if you failed, it was equivalent to offending the team leader and he might settle scores with you after the challenge. It was quite an ordeal to have someone make your life difficult every day. You're not bad. Why don't you try to challenge the leader of Dark Team 4? A certain bodyguard turned to the young woman next to him and whispered. The woman shook her head fervently. I'm not going to do that for sure. The leader of Dark Team 4 is known to be ruthless, and if I fail, he will definitely hold a grudge against me, saying that I'm trying to snatch his post. If he takes revenge, I won't be able to. I'll do it. All of a sudden, Little Stutter walked up to the ring and pointed at the leader of Dark Team 3. I would like to challenge the leader of Dark Team. Team 3. Seeing this, all the bodyguards were stunned. This guy can't even speak properly and is a nobody, but he actually dared to challenge the leader of Dark Team 3? The strong and buff leader of Dark Team 3 stood up slowly and walked into the ring casually as he gave Little Stutter a side-eye. You want to challenge me? The leader of Dark Team 3 scoffed. Wise, yes, you're right. Little Stutterer nodded. Chapter 564. Hit me. Although he was unhappy, the leader of Dark Team 3 didn't say much. You deserve to be praised for your courage. The leader of Dark Team 3 nodded, then beckoned Little Stutterer with his finger. Come at me then. You attack first, Little Stutterer said. Little Stutterer had Yi Wanwan as his teacher, but none of the bodyguards knew this, so they definitely wouldn't know that Little Stutterer learned how to counterattack from Yi Wanwan and wasn't very good at attacking first. Tisk. The leader of Dark Team 3 sneered. As the leader of Dark Team 3, obviously I have to let you attack first. Otherwise, people might call me a bully. Cut. Little Stutterer pointed at the leader of Dark Team 3. The crap. I'm letting you attack. So come hit me. You dare. Little Stutterer's tone was very provocative, almost identical to Yuanwan's. Following what Little Stutterer said, all the bodyguards were taken aback. Where did this guy come from? He has the guts to talk to the leader of Dark Team 3 like this? If he's defeated, how is he going to continue being a bodyguard on a Dark Team? You're courting death. The leader of Dark Team 3 was furious. There were thousands of Dark Team bodyguards in the C family, but none of the team leaders even spoke to him this way. Yet this little nobody from Dark Team 1 actually mocked him like that. Swish. In no time, the leader of Dark Team 3 was akin to a moving hill as he charged towards Little Stutterer. He was able to travel to Little Stutterer's side with just a few steps. Get lost. The leader of Dark Team 3 grabbed Little Stutterer by his collar with his wide palm and looked as if he was about to throw him out of the ring. However, in the next second, the leader's face changed slightly. Little Stutterer raised his right arm slightly. He used his palm instead of his fist, and his arm was like a wary snake while his palm was similar to the tongue of a snake. Using an extremely tricky and weird angle, he instantly attacked the leader of Dark Team 3. Then, without reducing his level of strength, he smacked him with his palm with lightning speed. This smack from Little Stutterer wasn't the result of careful consideration, it was almost instinctive. Since this was the case, the speed was even faster, resulting in the Dark Team 3 leader not having any time to react, much less counterattack. His attacks were rising like the waves and he didn't stop. It was like an endless wave. The leader of Dark Team 3 didn't seem to understand what just happened and was hit in the jaw by Little Stutterer. Under everyone's astonished gazes, the leader of Dark Team 3 flew like a cannon and slammed to the ground outside the ring, landing among the crowd. After a long silence, there was an uproar. Well, where did that guy come from? He defeated the leader of Dark Team 3 with just one attack? Where did this expert appear from? I haven't heard of him before. What's his name? At this moment, the leader of Dark Team 3 looked at Little Stutterer with slight fear and panic. He never thought he would be defeated in such an embarrassing way. It didn't make any sense. The leader of Dark Team 3 didn't know what happened. That fella's reaction was oddly quick and the speed of his attack was so terrifyingly swift. How was it? I told you that the crap. I'm the expert. Little Stutterer looked at the leader of Dark Team 3 who was below the ring. Brother Stutterer, you're amazing. A few bodyguards exclaimed in surprise. Don't call me Stutterer. Feng Xian. Little Stutterer corrected them. Chapter 565. I don't hit women. Everyone was shocked that Little Stutterer defeated the leader of Dark Team 3. Little Stutterer is amazing. What Little Stutterer? It's Feng Xian Yi, Leader Feng. Little Stutterer said sternly. Right. It's Feng Xian Yi, Leader Feng. At this moment, the members of Dark Team 1 started echoing him. When Little Stutterer was in Dark Team 1, although his skills weren't too bad, he was mediocre compared to all the other bodyguards. Because of his stutter, he was always made fun of and bullied. After defeating the leader of Dark Team 3 in today's fight, it allowed him to prove himself. Feng Xian Yi won the challenge and will be replacing the leader of Dark Team 3 for the time being, while the original leader of Dark Team 3 will be demoted to an ordinary bodyguard and can continue the challenge. If he defeats Feng Xian Yi, he'll win his post back. Su Yi walked up to the ring and announced the outcome of the fight. Although Little Stutterer was the winner for this fight and took over the leadership post, it was only temporary until the end of the challenge. I'll challenge him. At that moment, a girl from Dark Team 2 went up. The girl was dressed in a tight black shirt and had a long ponytail. She carried herself confidently and was very energetic. I don't hit, D don't hit, W women. Little Stutterer stared at the girl in the ring. You, Little Stutterer, seem like you have some abilities. Little Missy here would like to have a taste of it, the female bodyguard said. Hearing that, Little Stutterer furrowed his brows. You call me Feng Xian. Defeat me and I won't call you Little Stutterer. The girl laughed. I don't hit women. Little Stutter pondered for a second before repeating himself. "Ichinji, I think you're simply looking down on me. I'll make sure you regret it." The girl was slightly angry. A shiny dagger flickered in her right palm and she immediately took a step forward, swinging it towards Little Stutterer. In a fraction of a second, Little Stutterer's right leg swept horizontally like a dragon with tremendous force. Bang! This kick landed right at the web between her thumb and forefinger where she was holding the dagger. The girl was in deep pain. Her dagger fell out of her hands and she retreated many steps back. "Why, you should admit defeat," Little Stutterer said. "Teske, you wish. This is only the beginning." The girl charged towards Little Stutterer once more. However, when she reached Little Stutterer's side, she was lifted up by him. What are you doing?" The girl blushed and berated him. Little Stutterer didn't care and carried her to the side of the ring. "Put me down," the girl bellowed. Right away," Little Stutterer said. In the next second, Little Stutterer reached the side of the ring, released both arms and threw the girl outside the ring. "Out of boundary. Feng Xin-yi wins," Su-yi announced. At this moment, all the bodyguards burst out in laughter. This was a rare scene in a fight. He said he wouldn't hit a woman and he really didn't. Leader Feng really has some antics. He actually threw her directly outside the ring. This is my first time seeing something like this. This is an eye-opener. Some of the team leaders started cracking harmless jokes. After that, many talented bodyguards from Dark Team 3 were upset and went up on stage to challenge him as well, but all of them were thrown out of the ring by Little Stutterer. From that moment on, nobody was interested in challenging Little Stutterer and the stronger bodyguards had their eyes on the post of head captain, so they didn't bother fighting with Little Stutterer. Chapter 566. Checks and balances in the audience. Yi Wanwan looked at Su-yi and said, "Su-yi." Su-yi walked over to Yi Wanwan and smiled. "Miss Wanwan, this selection of leaders is decided based on their combat skills alone?" Yi Wanwan was a little curious. It seemed a little sloppy to decide the team leaders and head captains solely on this. "Miss Wanwan, this is indeed the case. The rules have been like this for the competition every year and they were established by the master previously," Su-yi explained. "Agio established this?" A hint of surprise surfaced in Yi Wanwan's eyes. Shouldn't the selection criteria also include overall strength such as leadership skills, general consensus, the degree of loyalty, etc.? Yi Wanwan voiced out her opinion. Hearing what Yi Wanwan said, Su-yi smiled and his gaze swept across the bodyguards as he spoke softly. "Miss Wanwan, look at these bodyguards. The strength of each and every one of them is much stronger than any ordinary person. As a member of the Dark Team, most of them were once runaways who had their lives on the line." "What do you mean?" Yi Wanwan didn't understand. "Miss Wanwan, do you think the different teams get along well?" "Yes. Doesn't seem like it," Yi Wanwan answered truthfully. "That's only natural." Su-yi said, "This is where Master's brilliant. The Dark Team is controlled remotely by the C family. Any current situations and commands are all handled by the higher-ups. They only have to act accordingly. The most important thing, as Miss Wanwan mentioned just now, is loyalty." Su-yi thought for a moment and continued. "Aside from a few missions from the C family, the Dark Team also has to uphold the safety of the C family. There are almost 1,000 members in the Dark Team and if every member works together and there is one person who wants to rebel, they would all rebel together at once. What would it mean for the C family then?" Yi Wanwan knitted her brows. She hadn't considered that before. So, Master established that they have to compete with their combat skills for the post of captain and team leader so that by doing so, there would be competition between the various bodyguards and they wouldn't unite as one, including Luing. When he was the head captain in the past, the team leaders and members bowed to him on the surface but secretly, who didn't wish to defeat him? The corners of Su-yi's mouth lifted upwards. The bodyguards must never unite and this is the Master's golden technique. When there's competition, there will be checks and balances and when there are checks and balances, then we can truly control the guards. Actually, many of them are like 11 and Feng Xin. They all want to climb upwards. But 11 and Feng Xianyi are different in that they dared to speak up while most bodyguards and team leaders didn't seem interested in competing on the surface, but they knew very well what they're thinking in their hearts. Yi Wanwan took a moment to understand the rationale behind it. Even if 11 obtained the position of head captain today, there would be more people who would want to defeat 11 in the future. And all 11 could do was keep training himself in order to handle those future challenges. So who would have the mind to rebel if a person had to worry about all that? This trick was indeed the so-called golden technique, which was why Si Yihan's personnel never had any major riots. Yi Wanwan approved of Si Yihan's thought process completely. After all, there were thousands of bodyguards, and if they were bribed to rebel and hurt the Si family, the outcome would be catastrophic. However, because of this contesting rule that Si Yihan created, they would never unite. Even if the head captain was bribed and wanted to rebel, there would still be the various team leaders who had their own plans. So this was something that would never happen. Chapter 567. I would like to challenge you. The individual dark teams were united, just the way Dark Team 1 was. But between the various teams, they would never be united as one. If all the dark teams unite, they'll be banished from the Si family forever. A cold light flashed in Su Yi's eyes. Su Yi was very clear about such checks and balances. If they lost this balance, it would be a ticking time bomb for the Si family. At this moment, a thunderous applause resounded as Lu Ying went up on stage. After winning the challenge, he could now be Dark Team 4's leader. The previous leader's face was gloomy as he glared at Lu Ying, who was standing in the ring with both his fists balled up. There were so many other team leaders he could challenge, but he chose me. TSK, Captain Lu Ying's strength is indeed amazing. I'm impressed. Seeing Lu Ying's eyes on him, the leader of Dark Team 4 shot him daggers with his eyes and forced a smile. Captain Lu Ying is the leader of Dark Team 4 now. He is now entitled to challenge Head Captain 11. Someone exclaimed below the ring. Hearing that, Lu Ying turned to 11. Hang on. Suddenly, Yuan Sheng stepped up. What? Lu Ying looked at Yuan Sheng. I would like to challenge Lu Ying. Yuan Sheng spoke indifferently. What did you say? Lu Ying narrowed his eyes. I said I would like to challenge you. Yuan Sheng scoffed. Lu Ying hadn't expected that his own confidant would actually challenge him. Lu Ying, I've been practicing with Miss Ruoshi for quite some time and believe that my skills have overtaken yours. Can't I challenge you and take over your place, huh? This is also what Miss Ruoshi wants, Yuan Sheng said coldly. What Miss Ruoshi wants? Lu Ying scowled. Yuan Sheng, your wings have hardened and this is what you want. Do you think I would believe you when you say that this is what Miss Ruoshi wants? TSK, it doesn't matter. This is how the dark teams in the Si family work. The strongest have the most power, Yuan Sheng said. I think you're just courting death. Lu Ying glared at him icily and his body moved swiftly. His fist turned into an open palm and he used it as a knife as he aimed for Yuan Sheng. That's all you got? Yuan Sheng's reaction was faster. His body shifted slightly and he dodged Lu Ying's hand, then he landed a punch on Lu Ying's stomach. Lu Ying's face changed and he retreated a couple of steps back. My turn. Yuan Sheng sneered and pressed him hard with each step, attacking at random. Yuan Sheng's speed and strength was almost a perfect combination. His footwork was unusually quick, and in just half a minute, Lu Ying was already retreating one step after another. Yuan Sheng actually improved so much. Lu Ying was shocked. Lu Ying, this is enough to prove that I'm stronger than you, so the one who's going to challenge 11 and become the head captain is me. Yuan Sheng looked at Lu Ying disapprovingly. After 100 strikes, the distracted Lu Ying was pressed by Yuan Sheng tightly and finally revealed many weaknesses. Yuan Sheng found the right timing and pushed Lu Ying outside the ring with just one palm. This is impossible. Lu Ying closed his eyes in complete disbelief. I was actually defeated by Yuan Sheng? How could I be defeated? Lu Ying, you've been hogging this head captain post of yours for quite some time. It's time for a change. The dark teams of the Si family don't need to enter a rut, understand? Yuan Sheng looked at Lu Ying coldly. You. Lu Ying gritted his teeth and his whole face nearly contorted. This Yuan Xing was just a dog by my side. I haven't even fought 11 but already lost to him. Darn it. Chapter 568. I shall let you attack first. He, the one who vowed that he would take back the post of head captain, actually lost to his lackey right in front of everyone. Lu Ying felt as if there was a wild beast charging and howling in his chest. All kinds of emotions were tearing him apart. Not far off, Yiwanwan was astonished as well. Lu Ying actually lost. In her previous life, she didn't have much memory of this Yuan Xing guy and he didn't accomplish much then, but in this life, he actually defeated Lu Ying. I want to challenge 11. At this current moment, Yuan Xing's voice resounded in the entire area. Sure. 11 accepted the challenge. He stood up from his head captain's seat and walked into the ring. Do your best, beat him to death. Little Stutterer gave his support from his team leader seat. All the best, Captain. Let this guy know who's awesome. TSK, how is someone like him qualified to be the captain? He's just a lackey and was a dog by Lu Ying's side. Yet he bit the hand that fed him. Exactly. If he becomes the head captain, we won't even know if he sells us out during missions. Currently, the members of Dark Team 1 were deep in discussion. Aside from the members of Dark Team 1, everyone else was giving their support to Yuan Xing and trying to win favor with him. In the eyes of the bystanders, even Lu Ying was defeated by Yuan Xing, not to mention 11. This competition had unexpectedly revealed a bunch of dark horses. Come on. I'd like to see how formidable this head captain is. Yuan Xing snarled and beckoned 11 with his index finger. As the head captain, I shall let you attack first, 11 said. Oh, let me attack first? Yuan Xing smiled. In his eyes, 11 wasn't even worth a mention. Hit me if you have the guts. 11 learned this from Little Stutterer. TSK, that's a little too easy, huh? Yuan Xing ridiculed him, then stepped forward and traveled a few meters across, reaching 11's side instantly. Die! Yuan Xing pulled out a combination of punches. However, 11 stood in the same spot and didn't move at all. He used his palm as a shield and brandished it in the air. Both their fists and palms struck one another. Yuan Xing attacked with several moves in succession yet was unable to gain any advantage on 11. What? Yuan Xing retreated a few steps back. He knitted his brows and looked at 11 strangely. He knew 11's strength very well. He normally couldn't block even 3 moves from him. But just now, 11 actually dismissed all his attacks with ease. 11 was like a flawless fortress without any blemishes on his body. He was even more like a hedgehog covered in sharp thorns. Nobody could lay their hands on him at all. What is it? Come hit me! 11 yelled. However, Yuan Xing furrowed his brows like he just realized something. This time, he didn't attack first and said, "You come over. Come over if you've got the guts." 11 beckoned. "Head captain, why don't you attack first?" The two of them dragged it out like this and nobody moved even after 10 minutes. "Come on, fight. Fuck. Are you guys fighting? What are you doing? Is this a date? Damn it. I'm falling asleep. Please start fighting." All the bodyguards were somewhat speechless. They didn't know what 11 and Yuan Xing were doing. Not far off, Yuanwan coughed lightly and covered her face quietly. Why don't I know how to attack first, and why did I only teach 11 how to counterattack? That Yuan Xing has obviously seen through this trick. After some time, Su Yi said, "Yuan Xing, you are the challenger. If there's no clear winner within the next half an hour, it'll be taken that you've lost." Chapter 569. Good-for-nothing Yuan Xing was familiar with this rule as well and didn't need Su Yi's reminder. Tisk. Suddenly, Yuan Xing straightened up and said faintly, 11, I know you're past, just a cowardly good-for-nothing like you actually have the nerve to fight for the post of head captain? What did you say? 11 furrowed his brows. Tsk. Yuan Xing shook his head and smiled. 4 years ago, before you picked up martial arts and joined the C family's dark team, You had a girlfriend who was your childhood sweetheart and you guys had quite a good relationship. You. At the reminder of the past, 11's body stiffened. What a pity. That night while you and your girlfriend were strolling in the park, both of you met some armed drunkards. Yuan Sheng's smile grew wider. Enough. 11 clenched his fists and his breathing became more rapid. But you don't dare to face the truth, huh? Yuan Sheng mocked. Too bad, that thug insulted your girlfriend right in front of you, and you actually ran away, huh, leaving your own girlfriend to fend for herself. You're really selfless. Stop, that's enough. 11's nails dug deep into the flesh of his palms and fresh blood started trickling down. That night, your girlfriend threw herself into the lake and took her own life. While she felt the most helpless and scared, she was abandoned by her boyfriend. That's really pitiful. Yuan Sheng shook his head. I did not. Shut up. 11's eyes started welling up. The incident from 4 years ago surfaced in his head. That time, he was still a teenager and they were severely outnumbered. The drunkards were also armed. He ran away, but it was to seek help. It was just that he was too late. After his girlfriend was humiliated by those people, she threw herself into the lake. He hadn't forgiven himself all these years, and this was also the reason he picked up martial arts. After he successfully acquired the skills, he found those drunkards and sliced their heads off personally. He also became a runaway from then on. After that, he was taken in by the C family and became a member of the Dark Team. I didn't run, nor did I think about abandoning her. He was forced to do so according to the situation. He needed to seek help. Her smile appeared in his memory and 11 howled like a trapped beast. Shut up. Shut up. I didn't run. I didn't. You're a coward, a good-for-nothing. You should have died together with your girlfriend then. Why are you here today, trying to be head captain? Who are you to occupy that post? Yuan Sheng spoke quickly. You darn it, shut the hell up. Shut up. At this moment, 11 completely broke out of his stance and was like a wild beast. He didn't care about anything else as he charged towards Yuan Sheng with an evil, malicious air around him. Seeing that he got what he wanted, Yuan Sheng was all smiles. Pow. Yuan Sheng threw a punch which landed on 11's stomach, causing 11 to fall to the ground. Go to hell. 11 bellowed and tried to get up. However, Yuan Sheng stepped on 11's chest and looked at 11 condescendingly. You are a good-for-nothing who can't even protect your own girlfriend. Why is someone like you still alive? Why don't you die instead? It's only fair to your girlfriend. Bullshit. 11's eyes were bloodshot and the veins in his forehead protruded. You're a coward who abandoned your own girlfriend. Admit it. Yuan Sheng gave a cunning smile. At this moment, there was an uproar below the ring. Nobody expected that the nameless 11 would have a past like this. I didn't. Listening to Yuan Sheng and the buzzing discussion in the crowd, 11's mind was in a whirl, revealing all his weaknesses. Chapter 570. Do not insult her at this moment. Yi Wanwan's expression was frosty. Su-yi, can someone like this even join the Dark Team? Isn't it against the rules to use a method like this? Su-yi shook his head. Although that should be the case, the rules only state that firearms and sneak attacks aren't allowed during the fight. There was a resounding thump of a body being slammed in the ring as 11 fell to the side of the ring after receiving a punch. Yuan Sheng laughed and walked over as he stomped on 11's face. Admit defeat yet, great head captain? 11 propped himself up with his arms and staggered as he got up once again. His sweat blurred his vision and everything in front of him was hazy. You're really courting death. Yuan Sheng sneered. In the next second, there was a swishing sound. His fingers were like a sharp claw as they sped rapidly towards the head captain ring around 11's finger. 11 cried out, then there was the sound of bones being crushed. Click. The silver ring landed on the marble surface in the arena, producing a clear sound. Captain 11. Yuan Sheng. That bastard. The members of Dark Team 1 were so mad that their eyes were red, but because of the rules, they weren't able to interfere. As for the other bodyguards, they were indifferent. 11 was weak, so he couldn't blame anyone for this. Even if he died in the ring, he could only blame his own weakness. Yuan Sheng bent down, picked up the ring and looked at 11 with complete disdain and ridicule. TSK, a useless scoundrel indeed. You can't even keep the ring on, yet you're still thinking of being the head captain? Due to the mental distress and excruciating pain in his body, 11's body already reached its limit, but he was still unwilling to back down, unwilling to give up. Yuan Sheng put the ring on his own finger casually and said condescendingly, Head captain, what's wrong? Weren't you full of confidence before the competition? You even said you have a formidable teacher and can defeat all of us, huh? Ha, in the end, this is the rubbish that woman produced. What a great show! Lying on the ground and almost at his last breath, 11 dug his nails into his palms and used all of his strength to get up. He stammered, I'm not a good student, and this has nothing to do with anyone else. You're not allowed to insult my teacher. Trash like you with my teacher can defeat you with just one hand. What a joke. Did you guys hear that? Our head captain said the great teacher who taught him how to fight like a girl can defeat me with just one hand. I'm so scared. Why don't you bring her up here then? Below the ring, everyone laughed loudly. What 11 said was really hilarious. Did he lose his head after spending all that time with that woman? Disk, it's over, head captain. There was a cold and murderous look in Yuan Sheng's eyes and his fist pounded 11's chest like he was a punching bag. At this moment, 11 was wide open and had no energy to retaliate at all. In the next second, the audience witnessed a flash before their eyes as something appeared abruptly in the ring. Following that, there was a loud pow that caused everyone to feel their blood run cold. That was the sound of two fists clashing together. When his fist knocked into that delicate little fist, Yuan Sheng's entire being retreated many steps and the smug look on his face froze. Yi Wanwan's slender body stood in the ring. Not moving an inch, she looked at the man who had begged for her to step up. Her eyes had no warmth at all and her cherry lips spat out 3 icy cold words, as you wish. Chapter 571. Roll down from this ring, Miss Wanwan. Su Yi broke out in a cold sweat when he saw Yi Wanwan charging up to the ring and all the bodyguards were stunned as well. Teacher, I'm sorry. 11 clenched his fists and looked down. Yi Wanwan frowned and helped 11 up. I'm the one who should be apologizing. Due to her limited skills, she wasn't able to coach him well and didn't know about the knot in his heart. She felt an overwhelming sense of guilt to be called his teacher. Yuan Sheng felt a numb and painful sensation on his wrist and his eyes turned gloomy. The rumors are true, this woman is quite strong. Yuan Sheng stood there and said coldly, Miss Yi, no offense but this ring is meant for the competition between dark team bodyguards. It's not a bar where you can come and go as you like, breaking all the rules. When the other bodyguards heard what Yuan Sheng said, they were upset as well. This was a competition. Even as the mistress of the household, she couldn't simply butt in and mess things up. Furthermore, Yi Wanwan wasn't officially in that position yet. Yi Wanwan looked disapprovingly at Yuan Sheng and replied expressionlessly, Rules? If I didn't hear you wrong, you were the one who invited me up here and I was merely accommodating your request. Even if it's against the rules, shouldn't you be the one who's responsible? Yuan Sheng immediately retorted, Since when did I? Alas, he stopped speaking halfway as he recalled something. Seems like I did say that. Damn it, I blurted that out while trying to anger 11 just now. But in the end, this woman used it against me. The rest of the bodyguards were dumbfounded and looked at each other with confusion. Although what this woman said was forcing logic, they had no way of refuting her. Yi Wanwan let little stutter help 11 out of the ring. With an iciness in her eyes, she didn't beat around the bush and directly said, Come at me. Yuan Sheng sneered. TSK, I wouldn't dare. If I hurt you, I couldn't make amends for it even if I died 10,000 times. I can't bear the responsibility. Yi Wanwan didn't have a trace of any emotions on her face. If you don't dare, then roll out of this ring. You Yuan Sheng was agitated and his face was filled with disdain and ridicule. This woman is brainless. She got herself into this, but she has the guts to speak so arrogantly. Exactly like 11, she lost her cool with just a bit of provocation. Indeed, trash will only produce trash. When the bodyguards below the ring heard Yi Wanwan's ignorant and arrogant words, sure enough, looks of disgust appeared on their faces. Is this woman dumb? Everyone gave in to her at the bar before. Does she really think she's some invincible kung fu master? She even recruited students of her own and challenged one of the strongest bodyguards. Who gave her the courage, huh? She's received so much praise that she doesn't even know the truth anymore. No wonder she produced a good-for-nothing like 11. She's unreasonable. How could this woman be compared to Miss Ruoxi? Yuan Sheng sighed and looked at Su Yi awkwardly. Housekeeper Su, Miss Yi is really making things hard for me. I'll let you make the final decision. Su Yi's face was as black as the underside of a pot, and he also had a terrible headache. He was in a dilemma and could only look at Yi Wanwan to plead for help. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.